Welcome to Who Let the Moms Out?
Oh, well, that was even worse than before.
I was about to say, where's the barking? Um, this is a safe space for all kinds of mom conversation where we will discuss all things from motherhood, entrepreneurship, and everything in between with zero judgment, lots of laughter, and lots of prayer, for lack of a better word, because we're all just trying to make it out alive.
Yes, we are dishing and embracing.
Yes. And today we are going to be sharing our most embarrassing mom situations, stories of the past 3.5 years or so since we became mothers. And I hope you are as excited as we are. I hope you're ready to laugh. And we would love to hear your stories as well. If you haven't heard yet, we are on Instagram at Who Let the Moms Out .pod. And if you message us there, you can go ahead and let us know your story and we'll share it in another episode in the future or on a post on Instagram. We want to make this very inclusive and very fun for everyone. So please don't shy away from sharing your embarrassing stories. You can share them anonymously as well. But I think we would all very much enjoy to hear your stories as well.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait because, I'm about to share mine. I have a few, but I'll share the first one. So my first ever, embarrassing story is actually when we went to meet you in Greece. And so for those of you who don't know, when we met back in 2021, wasn't it? We were sort of traveling enthusiast. We still are, to be fair, but we met actually in Greece at a partnership hotel, and everybody had left to do their lives, after breakfast, and my husband was already working, and I was left alone with Flynn. And he was just crawling at the time. He was like 10 months old. So he's crawling around on the floor happily. And then I noticed that his diaper is a bit full and he's coming towards me. And I was like, oh, we need to go change it. And I was like, pick him up from the floor. A little piece of poop falls on the floor. Like she slides down like straight to the floor. This is the middle of the breakfast buffet that everybody that's on a holiday was having this breakfast at that time. I'd never seen this as busy as it was. And I just turned all red, grabbed the first napkin I found on top of the table, and grabbed that piece of poop and cleaned the floor, hoping nobody see me and just escape. And that's haunted me since. And
Why does it always have to involve poop? I was just thinking, the first time we took a road trip with Alaska, so when my daughter was born, she was breastfed exclusively for like 2 years. And when she was born, I remember like the first week she didn't poop. And I was so worried because I just kept thinking like, oh my God, like she's not pooping. And then my midwife was like, no, like they can go up to like 15 days without pooping because they're just taking everything in. So it's perfectly fine. Anyway, I remember she was pooping. Eventually she got on a regular schedule and she pooped once a week. And we were like, okay, great. Like, once a week, we planned a cross-country road trip, and our first plan was like, okay, we're gonna leave on this day, so we have a few days until we get to the poop day, and we had everything planned according to the schedule of pooping once a week. But I guess the rocking of the car, being in the car seat, like promoted pooping a lot more than anything else we tried, because we even tried wiggling the legs and everything, and that poop was not coming out. But I swear to you, we left the house and within like an hour, it was like we had to pull over at a Dollar Tree store at a parking lot to like change because there was like a cascade of poop coming out and she wouldn't stop pooping. And it was just like, and like I had to go into the store and ask if they had a restroom. They didn't have a restroom. And then I had to like change her in the car. But then I had all this poop everywhere like that. This is my first time changing a diaper in a car because up until then we had been home. This is in COVID times as well. So and I had to like I remember walking around with like all these like diapers and wipes and everything full of poop, and it's just like it's like But my most embarrassing story actually happened later because you think you're maxed out, but then motherhood like, no, wait, hold up,
humbling every single day. Just humble.
So we had been traveling, I think, almost a year already with her full time. And we were coming back to the Americas. We were going to Panama from Europe. We had been spending the winter in Bulgaria. And we had a flight that connected in Amsterdam and took us to Panama. And I went to the restroom with Alaska. She was already walking. And, Amsterdam airport is fantastic. It has this like big family rooms, with like all the tech. And so we go to the restroom. I change Alaska and then I go and I have to pee. And she's just there. She's, my daughter has never been a crazy, like super active kid. So, I had no warning about this. I have her standing there in this big restroom, and I'm like, okay, she'll walk around until I finish peeing. And as I'm squatting over this restroom, she goes and pushes the button that opens the automatic door. Now, this restroom is positioned right on the most like walked path of the airport. And right across from me is this little kiosk with a watch salesman. And like as this door is opening, I'm squatting, the pee is coming out, and as you probably know if you've birthed a baby, once the pee comes out after the first birth, you can't even hold it back in because your body doesn't have that ability. So I'm sitting there, not sitting, I'm squatting,
And also
peeing.
infection.
Right, right. So I'm squatting, peeing. This door, I see it. I'm like, no, 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 no. She presses the button. And I see this door open, and as the door is opening, I make eye contact with this watch salesperson who's then seeing me like you probably see my pee coming out. Alaska's about to walk out of the restroom, but I have to finish peeing, clean myself to even reach the button to be able to close this door. Meanwhile, people are passing by with their carry-on, and I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God.
That actually happened to me today, but luckily there was nobody there. Like we went to this cafe that had like a kid area, and you have to take your shoes off because to go to the bathroom because it's in the kids area. And I went and sort of locked the door, but then Flynn decided, oh, I want to go too, and he managed to open the door, and I literally had my pens already. I was like, on, almost going, and he opens the door and just walks in, lets the door open, and you have to walk a bit and I had to walk with my pants open. Close the door. That just reminded me, yes, luckily there was no more kids on the kid area and parents to see that, but yeah, that happened to
So
me.
embarrassing. So embarrassing. I think these things have to happen so you can build your thick mom
Oh yeah.
skin. But like,
Oh,
could it not have
it's
happened
like
to me?
a ritual pass of
Like a rite of
passage, like
passage.
yeah,
Yeah.
rite of passage. That's it. Yeah,
But
it
like,
is.
could it have happened like at the lounge bathroom, where there's one person passing by, not 35,
Yeah,
Did I
I
have
mean,
to make eye contact with that
you chose
man?
the busiest. You chose the busiest one. You
I
learned.
remember I walked back to where Roger was like sitting at a little airport cafe or something. And I arrived and I was obviously like probably purple from embarrassment. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was like, how do I begin to tell you this story? Like, how do I
I
even
don't even know how to
communicate?
start.
The absolute most embarrassing situation of my life. I was like, and and
But you're
and to
saying
make
that.
matters,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, carry on.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we say that it's poop stories. But I think we're just not at that phase where they say the random things that we do
No,
at home. I mean, at least I'm not yet, thankfully. But I've heard so many stories from other mums that just say like
oh no,
the
I've
kids,
I've
at the
already
shop say the
experienced
random things.
I've already experienced a little bit of that.
I
So
please share, please.
the good news is that my daughter speaks mostly Spanish at home. So she understands English, but she doesn't speak English publicly. Like she's refusing. I don't know why, but I'm glad because the other day, okay, so um I purchased with her, actually, her and I went to purchase some gifts for a local mom that couldn't get gifts for her daughter for Christmas. And she messaged in a group on Facebook, and we bought some gifts for this little girl. And then the mom just never, she never made like I messaged her, I tried, and she never really messaged me back. And I don't know, she never came to pick up the gifts. Like I offered to go meet her halfway through to go even take it to her house. She never messaged. So I had all these gifts. I had like 3 gifts that I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this? And I was gonna return them, but then one of her little classmates from her little daycare park situation was having a birthday party, and she's also turning 3. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just use those toys for that, just for
Yeah,
that
I mean,
little
you already
girl.
bought them.
Yeah, and as we get into the birthday party, and I'm like, so we go to the birthday party. I have to stop at a store to buy a birthday bag to put the gifts in, right? Because I just had the toys randomly there. I had them gift Christmas wrap, but the mom never came, so I had to unwrap. I'm not gonna give a birthday party and a
With the
Christmas
Christmas,
wrapping.
yeah.
So then I go to the store and we get this birthday gift, and as I'm putting them there, like we get to the house with the birthday, and I'm putting them in, and she starts talking about this, but she doesn't really say much. And then as soon as we give the gift to the birthday girl, she goes, "Oh, those gifts are for a girl whose mom can't afford to buy Christmas gifts." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." It's like, oh my God. But luckily, she's like saying all this in Spanish, and nobody spoke Spanish. I was like, "Yeah, we bought this gift for."
I thank God for that.
So the mom was
Oh
looking
my
at me
God,
like, "What is she saying?" And I'm like, "Oh, she's saying that we bought the gifts for her birthday." I was like, "Oh my God." Luckily, these people were
I
super nice and super. I wouldn't care if somebody was giving me a gift that was not particularly well for my daughter. Who cares? And the girl ended up loving. Actually, the gift we brought was like her. She spent the whole day bouncing on the little bouncy house with the gift. Like she loved it. But I was so mortified. I was like, "Oh my God, this child will say
wow.
anything."
Wow. She like was straight up.
Straight up, just straight up, just like, "Oh, those
Yeah,
are
but
the
I
gifts
feel
that we
like
bought for
that's
the
coming
girl
my
for
way
Christmas."
though. But
Oh
this is
yeah,
coming my way
this
because
yeah.
Flynn is full on remembering things. Like today, for instance, they've taken out the Christmas tree, and every time he like walks past where the Christmas tree was, he keeps like, "Oh, the Christmas tree's gone," and so he's remembering things, and he's actually like
Hmm.
saying them out loud. So we are in for some fun.
Oh yeah, the things, no, the things they will say, like it's embarrassing. I have a lot of moments. Actually, I was talking to my cousin the other day. We were driving in the truck, and my brother says in Spanish, "Mama huevo," which means literally translate to ball sucker. Huevo in Spanish is egg, but it's also the male balls, right? So he's
Cojones.
literally saying, yes, exactly. Yeah, it's basically that. So he's basically saying ball sucker. And Alaska goes, "Tío, I'm not a mama huevo." And she like screams. I'm like, "Oh my God." I was like, "No." It's like, so then like my brother and I are like literally almost like crying, holding our laughter to not, because you don't want to make it a thing, because then she knows. And we're like literally, I'm turning one way, he's turning the other. When I finally look at my brother, he's completely red with tears in his eyes. So am I. We're just like trying so hard, and Alaska's in the back, all indignant
My
because she
problem is that
thinks
how can you not laugh at like this? Like I don't understand people that don't laugh when kids swear. It's just too funny.
it's too funny. And also her new thing is, so in Cuba we have a really, really horrible, grotesque word. It's pinga, which means it's a
Oh
male
yeah,
penis. It's
I remember
penis.
that.
But it anywhere in Spanish speaking world, if you say pinga, it means nothing. And in some countries, it actually means a tool that people used to use back in the day. It's a piece of wood that you use to carry the two buckets. So it means nothing. But in Cuba, it's a really harsh bad word, like really bad, like to the point that I could never even say that in front of my parents at this age. Like it's a horrible word. And of course, my husband, who is not Cuban, he just says it because he just got used to it, and to him, it's funny. So then Alaska has like she'll say it here and there, but she won't say it too much because we've been really good at not making a big deal out of it. And then like 3 days ago, I hear her singing. She's walking around the house going like pinga pinga ping, pinga pinga ping, pinga pinga, and I'm like, oh. So it's fun.
Your mom's gonna be proud next time you
My
call.
mom, yeah, my mom, my mom is like,
Mortified.
yeah, my mom is, yeah, she's like, "Oh no, no, what are you guys doing?"
Why?
It's
Shame.
a good thing. It's a good thing we're in an English speaking place where she's meeting other kids at an English speaking place while she speaks mostly Spanish. Because if we were still in Mexico or something like that, I would probably be being called in every day about the things my daughter is telling people.
Yeah. So she would
Yeah.
be saying some interesting stuff.
And
Yeah,
this is
Flynn
just the
now says
beginning.
things like, "Oh my god."
Oh, Alaska says, "Jesus Christ."
Not laugh. I think that because I burst into laughter. So funny. Like what?
It's
Or
awesome.
is it the other day I was like, Lord help.
Oh Lord. Oh, that is just awesome. So if you have a father is staying at home or something that has ridiculous that has happened to you, please come and share it with us. You have the choice to share it anonymously and just, we're not gonna tell anyone. There will be a link at the bottom of this podcast. We actually have a little page where you can submit your entries, your stories as well. But if not, just come to Instagram at who let the moms out that pot and share your stories with us. Let's join in on this roller coaster of
We need more
embarrassment.
stories.
Yes, please.
We're
We need
all
more
in this
stories.
together. We're all in this together, and it's only gonna make another mom feel normal. So come on, for us, for instance, we need stories
Let's
so
do
we
it.
feel normal.
That's right. It's mostly for us, really, but other moms
Yeah.
as well. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.